back to do the Roses of Lime. I feel like, because the show gave me that 1 week off, I took too much advantage. So we are now going to recap 2 episodes, 1 podcast. But when I say we, I mean me and my lovely partner, Olivia, who I have fully dragged into the Bachelor pit of deep, ridiculous obsession to where we have watched both of the 2 episodes today. Say hi!
Hi!
Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm nervous.
Oh, don't be nervous. Anyway, don't be nervous! It's just literally us hanging out talking about the fucking Bachelor.
That's true.
Which we do all the time.
That's true.
And this time you didn't fall asleep at the end because I didn't let you.
Yeah.
Because usually when we watch The Bachelor, it's Monday night.
Long.
And yes, it is long, and you work as a teacher. You are awake too early. So I understand.
Yeah.
But I made you watch this time.
Yeah. And I'm glad I did.
And you had a lot of thoughts.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was freaking wild.
Yeah, the last 2 episodes.
Oh, can I curse?
Yes. Okay. Oh my god, are you kidding? Do you not listen to me when I ever record this podcast where I'm constantly cursing? You were so cute. Why are you so
You're so cute.
Okay. I have already said that we cannot flirt this entire time. It's gonna be hard. Okay? Just relax. It's literally fine. Okay. We're chilling, okay? We are chilling. We are Bachelor hanging. First though, before we start talking about the recap, I wanted to ask you and tell us about your experience watching The Bachelor prior to me forcing you to rewatch again recently.
As a kid with my mom and dad. What? Trista or Krista?
Yes.
Trista.
Yes. Trista.
Who's the first Bachelorette?
Yes. Trista, and she married
And then
Ryan.
who was the guy that broke her heart?
That was Alex Michelle, the first Bachelor. Technically, I guess.
And
I guess broke her heart as much as you could break hearts on the first season.
Was she number 2?
Yeah. Trista was the runner-up on the Alex's season, the very first season of Bachelor. And then she became Bachelorette.
Okay, so yeah, I think I watched actually just the very first season.
Wow.
Not Trista's season. The season where Trista got her heart broken because I talked about it with my mom all the time because I was so upset for Trista.
And definitely thought she was hot.
Yes. I thought all of them were so hot, but also I thought, what's the guy's name?
Alex?
Yeah.
The original.
At the time, I thought he was hot too.
Okay, yeah, you're just gender envy.
So I was convinced. I was if I met this man in real life, I would like him.
He was an interesting man, I feel like, for that age, 2002.
Yeah, I was
romantic.
I was really young, so it was just man in a suit.
Yeah. Right, and his suit was he really was man in a suit because it was a small head on top of a giant suit because it was the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember when we watched that? We watched that fucking season. We tried to watch a few episodes of it on something on the internet somewhere. But we watched a couple episodes. So, you watched Alex's season. Did you say you watched Trista's season?
I don't know. Maybe I think I did watch Trista's season. Was she also on Survivor?
Wow, good question. Probably not.
No.
That would have been iconic, though. I feel like I would know that information. I'm going to Google it.
I feel like I just made that up.
I feel like there's not yet been a Bachelor Survivor crossover. Bachelor. I'm just going to Google Bachelor contestant on Survivor and see if it happened. Chase Rice was on Survivor before the Bachelor appearance. Wow, that is something I had never thought to find out. Chase Rice, do you remember him? He was the guy from, Peter's season when he took Victoria Fuller out, hot Victoria, out onto that date. And yeah, right? Took her out on that date to an amusement park, and then the guy singing was a guy she had been fucking prior at some point. I'm not sure if it was a confirmed relationship. I think it was a situationship vibe. But they knew each other. Chase Rice is his name.
Oh, and then he was also on The Bachelor?
Yes. No. He was on doing the musical part of the fucking Bachelor where they just dance and they like pretend to care. That was actually meaningful in that episode because he knew her. And they were filmed later being recorded, remember?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay, it's okay. We watched The Bachelor. We watched Peter's season probably like, God, I feel like a year ago at this point.
I thought it was just that someone came up to him and told him about it.
No, they ended up briefly speaking. So it was so brief. But anyway, apparently he was on Survivor.
Wow. What a crossover.
No, I'm living for the fact that, yeah, that's happened. Okay, I don't think any of this matters. Okay, great. Well, anyway, so that was fun Google. But, okay, great.
But she wasn't on Survivor, so someone else was on Survivor. Because I also was into Survivor for like a second.
I feel like so many of people our age were into like
cool.
that stuff because Survivor was like, it was like kind of, there were only so many options. It's like Bachelor, Survivor, Real World, other MTV shows, Flavor of Love, all that stuff. So, God, what a time to be alive, literally.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was an era. And The Bachelor and Survivor is still going strong.
Yeah.
Strong.
Not Flavor of Love, though.
Or Real World. Actually, did they bring the Real World? I don't know. I feel like they're trying to do a new Real World-esque thing.
When did it stop?
God, I don't know. They went for it for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely probably had as many numerical seasons as The Bachelor, but since The Bachelor, I think is more spread out. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out my ass. I'd have to Google that also, but man, Real World. But anyway, wow, so Bachelor, but then tell me you, I mean, I know why you like astrology now.
You, because
me? Oh, wow. Okay, that's over. That question's done. But okay, if I wasn't the one to have introduced you to astrology, what would you have like? Do you feel like you would have maybe eventually gone to it? Like, is it something that you enjoy enough like that, or do you feel like it would have eventually taken someone like to introduce you?
I think if I feel like I definitely would have downloaded the apps at some point. Not CoStar.
I mean, so.
Yeah. Yeah, you like have to. And I think I would have felt like, oh, okay, it makes sense that I'm an Aries rising and a Sag moon. Like, I just didn't relate to I mean, I did. Like, okay, so like I always knew deep down when I read about Cancer, I was like, yeah, that's me. But also like not, because I'm not like, I'm not passive aggressive. I mean, I can be passive aggressive. Most of the time I feel like I'm very like,
it's like non-aggressive, like you're just like not trying to.
Yeah, I'm not trying to fight with people, but if I have to say something, I usually will. Yeah. But I also just not. I mean, I don't like to fight, but and also just like just being like a crybaby and wanting to sleep all the time.
I mean, yeah. I feel like that. I understand because I'm a Cancer Mars. Yeah, I understand.
So, but I was like, ew, I don't like that. Like, that's boring. So I like rejected it mostly because I was like really annoyed I wasn't like an Aries or a Leo. I was like, why can't it be like the lion or the god of war?
Well, turns out you are an Aries rising and you have a Leo Mercury and Jupiter, so you were kind of correct.
Yeah, so I feel like if I had discovered that on my own, I would have felt seen. Well, I mean, when you told me about it, I was like, yeah. When you said Aries rising, I was like, I don't know what that means, but Aries, cool.
Well, I was glad you're an Aries rising and a Sagittarius because I am Sagittarius Sun and Cancers. I was nervous, but that's another conversation. Anyway, so this fucking show that I've dragged you back into. Are you happy to be back into that also because of me? Because I just make you watch it all the time?
I'm happy. I very much love our holiday around.
Yes.
Blende. Monday Blunt Day or
Monday Blunt
Tuesday
Day or
Tuesday
Tuesday
Blunt Day, which doesn't sound as good, but
No. But it's
so
always looking forward to it.
yeah, I mean, I get the serotonin rush of Blunt. And it's associated with The Bachelor now, so I have very positive around The Bachelor.
I have trained you, Pavlov's dog, to be ready for The Bachelor. Get it? Hear that, ladies? Straight ladies? I feel like this would work on men in other ways. Like, if you did this. Hey, or anybody who has a somewhat reluctant partner trying to watch The Bachelor.
Or that it's a sport.
Oh.
I mean, that isn't me.
True. Yeah, I mean, if you're dating a man and he doesn't watch the show and he likes sports, you just have to explain that the show is a sport. Anyway, by the book How to Win the Bachelor by the Game of Thrones broke. But anyway, so yeah, the show. We're back. You're in it. You're with me, and I'm making you recap it with me. So you excited? Mm-hmm. All right, so you ready to go? And we're gonna talk astrology. Oh wait, by the way, I do have everyone's charts in my palm of my hand, so I'm just going to speak them when they're relevant. But anyway, so first up, we are recapping both of the 2 episodes. Last week's episode, 3 weeks ago's episode. Jesus Christ, it's like forever ago. And this current week, we are in episode. So that is basically the Cassidy and Shanae drama plus some dates. So we're mostly going to be talking about that stuff, which is very funny as far as astrology goes. But there is some other funny shit that happens. So here we go. When we started rewatching the second episode today and we saw their mansion propaganda, Olivia was so funny. Because you were like, where did they film last night?
I felt gaslit.
Have they not been here before?
And they walked in like, do you see this? And it was still like a fucking couch that they were all sitting on the night before. It was confusing. It was jarring.
No, I completely agree, and I feel like the producers don't trust their audience enough to like be smart
to
be
know
like,
where they were at the night before.
Why is this happening? I feel like the only explanation is that they took the women to the mansion before filming night 1 without Clayton there, obviously, to like walk around the mansion and do that shit, and then they make them leave and go get ready for night 1, and then they come back for night 1. But then they aired it it doesn't make any sense in which they aired it then, but whatever. We are obsessed with the mansion as if this mansion is not falling apart or it's not 4 rooms dedicated to the filming of the show and the rest of the house is just blocked off. No, literally.
I noticed that it sort of looked like the house from Encanto.
Oh my god,
yeah, fucking crack up to the
slowly
window.
falling apart. Wow, true. So we have all that bullshit, and then fucking DLP, Dark Lord Palmer, Jesse Palmer, comes in and is like, hey guys, I'm Jesse, and is pretending as if any of these women were old enough or gave a shit about The Bachelor when he was The Bachelor. Okay, actually some of them would be. Some of them in their 30s. So they would have been alive and sentient for his Bachelor season. I remember watching his Bachelor season. I do.
How old is he?
I don't know. Probably in his 40s. Like 40s probably. He's like, because he was in his 20s or whatever, like 20s for his season. I think he was 25 at the time of his show, or his season. He was also the first football player, Bachelor. And his season was the first one they had a person Carson Rose on. But his season also had a spy. They had a woman that was one of his friends implanted with all of the women. And all the women thought that she was just chilling with them. And she would go back and report to Jesse about stuff that went down.
Oh, they should do that again. I
completely agree. It would be amazing. No, it would be amazing. But then also, it might give the men too much sense now, which is a problem because then they send everybody home and nothing funny would be happening.
Yeah.
Even though I still hold to the true that they should have sent Shanae home first and then focused on Cassidy. The women were not prepped. But
you gotta Shanae was the final villain.
No, she had
Cassidy
to
was-
nay her way all the way through this whip. Let's be nay. No, literally,
Shenanay and the shrimp.
truly the whitest shit of anything ever. So, all right, 10 trillion years ago, the first group date was, this is what dreams are made of, and this was when Cassidy threw her little hissy fit, or not really hissy fit, no one threw a hissy fit. Cassidy did not throw a hissy fit, but more of the women threw a fit that Cassidy was not participating in this date. The child army, remember? The child actors? Yes. So this is what dreams are made of. When that date card was read, the original time I watched it, I did not put the connection together that it was because of Hilary Duff, despite the fact that I knew Hilary Duff was going to be on this date because of previews.
You knew?
I still, yeah.
Oh, I totally would have been like, she's in.
No,
she's in
I didn't.
I
was not paying. Hilary Duff is in the house. She's waiting for us.
I would have had the same reaction Cassidy was having.
No, I mean, I would have had that reaction also having walked upon Hilary Duff, but not noticing what because if you notice the way Rachel read the date card, she was like, "This is what dreams are made of," and she was like, "Love Clayton." She was like so like cutesy with it that it didn't flow like the. This is what dreams are made of. She was
reading in Clayton's voice and not Hilary Duff's voice.
The voice is key here because Clayton would have said that in that way. This
is what
dreams are made of. No, that man really struggles to keep his sentences in like a general flow. Like he's not like he speaks, he puts together sentences. Not a bad speech. It's just like he pauses and really random places of sentences.
No, I relate. Like that's how when I first started teaching, that's how I spoke to the kids. I was always like, it was like you're always thinking about your next word.
And
it's
Anyway. We show up. Cassidy is so hyped about Hilary Duff. It says this is her first concert, and I can relate. She was also my first concert. I feel like so many millennial girls had the Metamorphosis tour. Did you go see Hilary Duff? Mm-hmm. You're
NSYNC.
Oh, okay. I'm kind of sad. I would have been way more into NSYNC, but I don't think I would have been able to convince my mom into it.
They came out Mechanical Bulls during
What the
Space Cowboy. And I was like, I was there with my mom and my dad, and I was like, because this is the second time I went to see them.
What?
I saw them twice.
Wow! Iconic.
Second time, I wanted my dad to see just the pageantry of it with the Mechanical Bulls.
Holy shit, I'm imagining your dad at an NSYNC concert.
He hated every second. But I thought it was so cool. I thought he'd be so impressed. And he was not.
Oh, God, at least fake it.
I know. Wait, this just triggered a memory real quick. It's a Taylor Swift story.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay, right. So when we were, me, my sister Caitlin, and Emily Hodge went to see Taylor Swift on the Red Tour, and there was these two dads behind us with their little daughters. And the dads were getting fucking wasted. And they got so bad that they actually had to get escorted out before Taylor even went on stage.
Oh my God.
So Joe's not so bad.
No, definitely not. Also because the Red Tour would have been lit. I feel like they would have enjoyed it if they didn't get too drunk.
It was a really good show. And then she played All Too Well, and it's just like...
No, I can't even continue to talk about this or I'm going to have way too many fucking jealousy feelings. All right. I was already jealous enough of Sarah's one-on-one date in the second episode.
Oh, man.
Okay. Basically, on this date, we are having the fake kid party. We all know. It's been a while, forever.
It's such a creepy party.
No, and the children.
It's really creepy if you think about it too hard.
No.
It's because they're not real children.
They are real children, like real human beings, but they're not real, like, they are being paid to be there. It's probably not a real birthday. It's... Everything is planned.
Her name is probably not Maya.
When Genevieve was like, "Wow, I need to make sure I know how to spell it," I was like, "She won't even notice. The cake is going to be on the ground. Even if you didn't think the cake was going to be on the ground, it was going to be on the ground, no matter who was carrying it. They were just prepping for that moment."
Yeah, because if you see it looks like the kid that just like
he full elbows, like just rams his entire body into this cake. Karate chops the cake to the ground.
Just happened. laughing at her.
No, it's actually heinous, and I'm so sad for Cassidy in that moment.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yes, was
but
Cassidy.
Also Melena, who decorated the cake?
No, Genevieve did the cake.
Shannon, also Genevieve decorated the cake just for Maya.
And she was so emotional, and I was really feeling her Pisces rising in that moment, just feeling like the Pisces. Okay, I'm gonna make a lot of references to Pisces being delusional, and I'm allowed to do that. I have a Pisces moon, so we are delusional a lot of the time. Pisces placements, we live in our own fantasy because it's safe there, and living in a fantasy makes it easier to believe all of the rest of the bullshit that's happening in our lives. So that being said, there's a couple of people who have Pisces placements that I'm going to talk about on this episode, but Genevieve with her Pisces rising, Clayton also has Pisces rising, so it's a little like the same vibe for this, but she was quite like living in her, like, I made the cake for mine. I just like, and even later when she confronts Cassidy about it, she's just very emotional about this cake, and I'm like, can we just like, it's really not a big deal. No one cared. That child was acting her ass off when that cake fell to the ground. Bless you. Bless you. Okay. But anyway, so we have Gabby uttering the best line of our life, that she's like, I'm excited to see what dreams are made of because I do forget dreams. Olivia loves that.
Put that on my gravestone.
No, for real. So with the making out, everybody's all, you know, up in arms about Cassidy, and I feel like Cassidy on this date is really not a big deal, and I feel like it's totally okay not to like children, even if we have to fake and play along. You don't have to like fake your love of children.
Also,
like,
those kids were not real children.
I
mean, they are, but come on, like, because she even said, usually I don't want to hang out with you little persons,
small people,
you small persons. And then the girl goes, so you don't like children? Like, it was so affected. It's like, how do you, and everything the kids did was like up 10 notches.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I wouldn't feel like I was really interacting with children like Uncanny Valley was.
Truly, though. So, I don't blame Cassidy. Plus, look, she was just trying to make out with Clayton. She and him are both just horny Taurus. And they were horny. When they were making out, he was like, I think that he was trying really hard not to like let her steal time, and then she started making out, and he was like, I forgot why we're here, and now we're making out, and now I'm gonna put my hand on your ass. That's his move, by the way. Y'all start noticing. Hand on the thigh, lower ass spot, hard, always that he goes there for like every single one. Too. Yes. Sensual.
Like a
Taurus.
little at a time. Yeah.
Taurus. Slowly, sensual.
It's actually a nice move.
No, I mean, yeah, it is. Like, look, Tauruses are horny, and they can be some slutty sluts, and I love them for it, okay? And that's why later, when we have the friends with benefits conversation popping out with Cassidy, it was very annoying to me, because I'm looking at Clayton, and I'm like, what were you doing before the show, buddy? Like, come on. I guess he was on The Bachelor. But...
Oh, yeah, he was.
but not on... Wait, no, he was on Michelle's season.
He was on Michelle's season?
Oh, yeah, he really did go from 1 to 1. Whatever. He was still hooking up with girls before The Bachelorette. Come on. No one can convince me otherwise. TikTok cannot convince me otherwise. Or convinces me otherwise.
Yeah, I was going to say TikTok is where the evidence came from.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. We get through this birthday party, and later everybody is trying to confront Cassidy about this, and...
Because they were jealous.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I would have been.
Yeah, right? That's the thing. It's like...
Not that I want to make out with Clayton, but I would have wanted to
making out with whoever your respective lead is, like, of course I'd be jealous. And also, like, everybody... It's a natural feeling, right? To be jealous of the first girl who's, like, very... has a lot of chemistry, physical chemistry with him, and is being obvious about it. But... the thing is like the way that they're like coming at her about the date is it's like, look, yeah, is it annoying that she didn't quote unquote participate? Sure. But why are you, it's like they're using that, like, that is just such a low level thing to care about in the long scheme of villaininess that, like, what, come on. And then again, they just use it as a way to not like Cassidy, because Cassidy ends up flaunting the rose, which makes sense. Cassidy's a Leo rising. She's a Taurus sun in the 10th house. She's very, like, she's very much like she wants to flaunt. And she likes attention. Like, you can tell, like, Leo risings, all of them do. They all like attention. More than Leo suns a lot of the time. And so with a Leo rising, it's like, of course, not only is she going to want attention from Clayton, but she's going to want attention from the other women, which is why she ends up spilling the thing about her friends with benefits to Sierra, I guess, where she's just trying to talk about, like, I feel like from knowing Leo risings, different ones, I'm just thinking about, like, yeah, they would probably be talking about that because they want to talk about, like, oh yeah, like, I left this one guy who wanted me, like, I don't want, like, back to, like, I have so many suitors, like, that I don't want because I'm here, because I want this guy, right? Like, she's using, I feel like she was explaining it like that, and especially the way that it all came out, it did. And also the only thing that would have been a weird thing was if she was being told that she was, or when Sierra was like, yeah, she wants to make that guy jealous. Like, we never hear that from her.
Like, what would she have to gain from admitting that to someone?
True.
To admitting, like,
it's definitely like an error to admit it. Like, don't talk about anybody you've ever dated prior unless it was like a devastating ex you were with for years.
But if she was just on the show to make him jealous, like, why would she admit that?
Right? Like, that's a very long-term plan, especially because he's not even seeing the show right now.
And
like,
you know there's a chance it's going to be on TV.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, that whole mess was just was so dramatic. And all of this stuff is, again, focusing on the wrong villain because eventually we get to Shanae. But,
Shanae.
First thing I want to, okay, I guess night portion, we're having, so I had remember my realization, we were watching Serene talk about being a teacher and, like, caring about her students and all that stuff. I was thinking about Michelle, because Serene is a Gemini, just like Michelle, but Serene is a confirmed Cancer rising.
Did you say Michelle's a Scorpio moon?
No, she's either a Scorpio or a Sagittarius moon, but I think she's a Sagittarius moon. But the Scorpio, if she was a Cancer rising like Serene, and a Gemini sun like Serene also, then she would be a Scorpio moon because of the timing. But I don't think she is. I think she's a Virgo rising ruled by a Cancer Mercury. And that's like where the Cancer influences come, because she and Serene are very similar, but they're not like 100%, right?
Is her Cancer Mercury the only Cancer placement?
Yeah.
She just feels like so much more Cancer. But like if she's ruled by a Cancer Mercury.
And in the 11th house, it's very prominent, very visible.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And I think that would but the other thing though too that I think it does is that if she's a Virgo rising, it puts her moon, Sagittarius moon, in the 4th house of the family. So very positive, warm environment around your family. Like, having the moon in the 4th is like general good vibes around the family, and she is obsessed with her family. Yeah. We're queer. Anyway, okay, so, but that being said, we have Teddy being super Libra, being like, validate me, I overthink, but she's also very Virgo Venus and all that. Sierra gets the whole bubbly talk with, like, he's like, oh, Clayton, you're so bubbly. And I'm really wondering what her rising is. TBD. It was all fine. And then he gives Cassidy the rose for quote unquote opening up, and we don't see why. Great, thank you.
Yeah, why do they cut that?
I don't know. Probably because she's getting the villain edit, so they don't want to give her any kind of PTC situation. But she just needs to, she just needs to use it later. Like, if she gets to be on Paradise, which she will clearly be on Paradise after all this. But then we move on to Susie's date, her one-on-one date, and it's she gets it all. This date was like the first, like, okay, we're fucking back, baby. Bachelor's back. We are having triple threat helicopter. You got it. Yacht. Let's fucking go. Hot tub on the yacht. Let's do it. They went all out. But my biggest excitement about Susie is that Susie replied to my Instagram story about her birth time. She got it from her mother. Thank you to Susie's mom, who is a Scorpio. But Susie is so for refresh, she's a Leo sun and a Virgo moon. I got that stuff right. And she is a Sagittarius rising,
What's her Jupiter?
In Libra, just like Clayton. So she is ruled by Jupiter Libra, just like Clayton. However, her Jupiter is in a much better position than his because his Jupiter is retrograde, first of all, problem. And it's in the 8th house, which is like a dark house and kind of a
death.
Yeah, and other people's resources and money is in control over you and like very more just tougher concepts in general. Whereas Susie's Libra Jupiter is not retrograde, and it is conjunct her midheaven in the 11th house. And Jupiter loves to be in the 11th house. It's literally the best spot.
What's her midheaven then?
In Libra. Okay. So her midheaven isn't in the 10th house, it's in the 11th house. So her rising sign is Sagittarius. And because she was born in, like, just like because of the, it's like latitude, longitude, and all that weird shit that goes down, just like the axis of the time at that point. But, so she's got her midheaven. Taylor Swift has her midheaven in the 11th house and the 5th house. Or the 5th house is her IC. Well, that's very common, And some people have the 3rd and the 9th. Like my brother has the IC in the 3rd and midheaven in the 9th. The midheaven can be anywhere from like the 9th to the 12th. It's usually the 9th to the 11th. But
makes sense.
Anyway, that being said,
so wait, it can be in the 9th house.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Okay.
So that being said, she has midheaven in the 11th house, conjunct Jupiter and Libra, and she also has Libra Mars. Wait, let me double check that. I'm pretty sure Libra Mars, not Venus. But anyway, so that being said, I just think her Jupiter is doing so much better than his, which is pretty obvious. I feel like their personalities are very different, and she's so Sagittarius-y. Like, of course, she lived in Tokyo. Like, oh, wow, I should have not been surprised that she lived in Tokyo. And was a literal Disney princess.
In Tokyo?
Mm-hmm. Cool. I know, right? And she is just she just gives me very Jupiter energy, and not only that, her chart screams Bachelorette. Like Moon in the 10th house, conjunct Juno, the asteroid of marriage. She's got the Sagittarius rising. She's all bubbly and cutesy. Like when she gets on her date on the one-on-one, remember in front of the helicopter, she's sitting there, they're showing her like dancing, and she's so fucking precious. And it's just like, God, she's just very happy-go-lucky, outgoing. Yeah. Good shit. Yes, Libra Mars, I was correct. But her Jupiter. But yeah, Jupiter is what's called, it has its joy in the 11th house. It is happiest, and it does very well in the 11th house because it's the 11th house, house of good spirit. And that's all about Jupiter, baby. But yeah. So anyway, her day is just like literally helicopter, hot tub, yacht. It's all very the normal day stuff. Pretty chill, nothing crazy. And then we get to the night portion, and she talks about her dad having like organ failure and this perfect like lineup set up for. I just feel like, God, I feel like she's playing for the Bachelorette.
Yeah, I was on the edge of my seat hearing this.
She was really good.
I was like,
yeah, right.
Right?
She did do that well.
She unfolded the information for us, for him and us nicely.
Him first at that point, and show to us eventually. Yeah.
I could definitely see her being Bachelorette.
Yeah, she would be a great one, I think. No problems there. Everyone says she's too much like Hannah Brown, but I see it. But she's not like Hannah Brown in that like she's not giving the religious thing. She's not the Southern girl. Like it's not like the archetype is different. Like she wouldn't be giving the same stories. She just has a similar personality and look. Yeah. Which, let's be real, everybody looks the same. Half these bachelorettes have always looked the same. It's not, it's like early days it was just blonde after blonde, and then we had Caitlin and Katie, literally, come on. They were like the same, they might as well have been the same too.
Caitlin and Katie.
Remember? Caitlin Bristow and Katie. kidding too. That's funny. Anyway, so Susie's night portion, she talks about her dad.
Katie Thurston?
Yes. Oh. Yeah. Katie Thurston definitely was, like, very into Kid in Bristow when she was doing her bachelor. Not into her, like, yeah.
I wish.
Right?
That
I mean, honestly,
happen.
if any bachelorette came out as bi, I would not be surprised if it was Katie.
Thurston?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, Thurston!
I think one day there's going to be a lesbian love affair on The Bachelor.
I mean,
in
apparently
the
it
Bachelor
happens behind the scenes all the time. Your face. No, it's apparently there are rumors about that a lot over the many years.
It really makes so much sense.
I mean, yeah, sequestered with all these hot. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And, like, also, too, just the idea of, like, having 30 women. I feel like statistically, you gotta have some. Think about it. Think about how many women realized they were gay during quarantine. And being on this show is basically quarantining
you have one man.
Without even a phone. No TikTok.
It's like
to realize you're gay.
Like you're living in an all-woman Amazon society.
Yep. With a man that appears every once in a while and you see him every few days. Like, for like a total of maybe an hour.
I would totally actually go on the show just to woo the girls who aren't getting the attention.
Oh my God, Bob, you are a little sneaky.
I know.
So
Slytherin.
Ah! Yeah. Same. Anyway, so Susie gets her big date. She talks about her dad. She cries. She talks about how her mom will sleep in the hospital room with him, and that she wants that same thing. God, it was an A+ performance. Good for Susie. Love her. And then they dance to some song, and gives her the rose. Good. Yeah, he gives her the rose during the performance, which is weird.
Yeah,
it's fine. But
I don't even remember how it went.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly. So. Now we go to the second group date, which is where Shannon emerges. And I hate to say that I have been called that before. My name is Shannon.
Oh.
Yeah, like people, my entire childhood, people tried really hard to like get a nickname to stick for me, and I never really gave a shit. Like literally my recent ex's mom called me Shannon. It's so weird, like Shannon, Shanae.
Even hearing people call you Shan, it's like
I'm not a nickname person. I don't know how to explain it. Or a haircut person, but especially not a nickname person. So unless it's like baby from you, gay. Okay, so this is where we have the fucking iconic Z-Way, who is ready to school all these bitches and like red flags, I guess, and they play things like Never Have I Ever. And the most like,
but it wasn't clear what the red flag was.
Yeah, I know. It was like a clunky date, because it was not only a school date and then it was an obstacle course. Like it wasn't just, they could have saved money and done a school date only, and not done the whole obstacle course, saved that for later.
It is weird how much they want to sexualized school.
No, the two seasons in a row. We have Michelle. Like, I wonder if Clayton has a teacher kink. I mean, he said his mom is a teacher, so it's like, all right. Anyway, Z-Way, she's dope. She's amazing. Love to see her here. Love to see her basically making fun of everybody. Like, I love that she got Shanae. Fuck, I keep wanting to say Shanae. Okay, this sentence is about to be literally insane, but I'm gonna go for it. I love that Z-Way got Shanae to Nene because it was so cringy.
Z-Way got Shanae to add a nay. Like, she came out as Shanae
for Z-Way.
Like, Shanae came out as Shanae for Z-Way.
Wow, a name change.
And then Z-Way got Shanae to do the Nene.
Oh my God. Anyway, like I said, it was cringe.
It was cringe Nene.
Cringe Nene. Cringe Nene. Shrine cringe. Okay. So it was a lot, and especially because Shanae had been like coached by Cassidy or whatever right before this, and Cassidy was like, "Yeah, you just gotta like stand out and do this stuff," and I'm just like, Shanae did not take your advice.
No, Shanae did not take
right.
your advice.
Shanae took the advice,
but she
but
is
Shanae
no longer with us.
No, yeah, Shanae now. This is her alter ego. I really do wonder if she's a Gemini rising. Like I keep saying it, but I kind of am starting to convince myself that it might be true.
I can see it,
right? The very double. She keeps calling everybody else two-faced, and I kind of want to be like,
I know, and I'm
bitch,
like,
you projecting.
You are literally the one being two-faced.
God, and if she was a Gemini rising and she had a Pisces, Mercury, and Mars in her 10th house, that would make a lot of sense. Yeah, and like ruled by a Pisces, Mercury. Wow, did I really come up with something here? Because I feel like that kind of
because it's like she
sense.
believes her lies.
She really does.
Like that's what's funny. Like she came out and was like, Elizabeth said she loved me. And it's like we all saw it.
And then I was like, no.
You did. Oh, you did though. ADHD, you did. I was like, what is happening? Are you malfunctioning?
No. 100%. God, okay, so after this insane class situation and the insane obstacle course where Shanae pushes Elizabeth and
about that.
Everybody gets covered in random weird shit and they have to
milk.
guzzle milk.
Guzzle milk.
No. What is this show's obsession with like, well, no, because they made Katie's men eat spicy stuff and then they were all just guzzling milk because they were eating the spicy peppers. Remember
is that why they were
No, this time they just made them guzzle milk.
This time they made them guzzle milk because their tatas were out, and milk and tatas go together. We know this. I'm not complaining.
Kate goes, there's milk in places there should never be, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I don't want to. I would have, if I were there, I would have dumped all of the milk over my shoulder. I would have not let a lick of that shit get in my mouth.
I would have gulped it up.
No.
Nothing's more refreshing than a fucking ice cold glass of milk.
Oh, that shit was probably not ice cold. No.
Oh, even better.
I highly doubt any of that was ice cold. Yeah, that shit was disgusting. And then Shanae in an ITM is literally like, I pushed you because I was trying to win, bitch, about Elizabeth. And I'm just like, this Aries is, wow. The Aries is, because she's so competitive, but then at the same time, she's
I keep forgetting she's an Aries.
I know. Because this is the thing with a lot of Aries, y'all. The amount of Aries I know that have a shitload of Pisces placements hiding under there, they like come off as these like, Aries, and then and you look at them and you're like, but you are a crybaby. Like, we've seen it with Shanae. Like, she's very emotional, which is fine. Be emotional. Literally, as Marlena says to Shanae at one point, feel your feelings. The Pisces man. She was, like, trying to console her before Shanae went really off, and then Marlena was like, whoa. I was not in the conversation here. But anyway, yeah, that night portion is when Shanae gets weirdly jealous of like Elizabeth talking to Clayton. Like she thinks that Elizabeth is like fake laughing and is like being ingenuine and quote unquote two-faced, and then she ends up wait before I even get to that point, Marlena talks to Clayton, remember this, and Clayton is like, you were so fast, you know, like you were like Olympic level speed, and she goes, well, I am an Olympian. And he was like, really?
And like,
that was amazing.
She's a literal Olympian, and Shanae is wasting everyone's fucking time on a show with her weak ass Nene.
No.
Like,
really?
She's walking around behaving like a literal child, and there's a literal Olympian
who is, oh my god, I'm obsessed with her.
Yeah.
And yeah, truly.
Yeah.
And back to they later try to focus on Cassidy instead of Shanae. Anyway, get that Nene out of here. But Shanae tries to go talk to Clayton and tattle on Elizabeth being two-faced and not paying attention to her when they talk in a group setting and not looking at her and not, like, acknowledging her, which is really, like, to me, I'm just like, what does... This is another Gemini rising thing I feel like to her, is that if she has an Aries sun in the 11th house, like being in this group setting of community people that she's not really, like that is what the 11th house rules, is our community in that space. And it's like, I feel like she could be very Aries, which is exalted sun of like, look at me, I'm the leader, I'm in charge here, and everybody else is like, what? Like, no, thank you. So I feel like that might be the case. So she's trying to be very much like, why aren't you talking to me? Or you're not looking at me. And then Clayton is like, okay, I'm confused, but whatever. And then he pulls Elizabeth to talk and tries to confront her about it. And Elizabeth is just like, I have literally no idea what she's talking about. Like, she pushed me and I wasn't trying to mention that. And then it ends up with Shannon and Elizabeth talking, which is where the shitstorm begins.
Whew.
Yeah.
It's not a good look.
This is when Shanae tries to tell Elizabeth the same thing she told Clayton. You know, you're not looking at me when we talk, and you're not acknowledging me. And then,
like, I totally, yeah, like Elizabeth's like, I have ADHD. Like, it's really hard for me to, like, and I totally get that. Like, with everything that must be going on in the house, it must be really hard to focus on.
Extremely overstimulated.
Yeah, like oh God, I would be so overstimulated. So I totally get not being able to like make eye contact with everyone.
Yeah, we both are people with ADHD, so it's literally just like watching all this. I'm like watching Elizabeth. I'm like, yeah, I get that, girl. Hell yeah. But then Shanae, when Elizabeth says that, Shanae decides to react extremely poorly and not understand at all in any way. And
then she like makes us be like Elizabeth like basically implying that Elizabeth talks about her ADHD all the time, that she mentioned it, and then Shanae just then suddenly just ADHD. Did you know she has ADHD? ADHD.
Isn't it so? ADHD. It's like all her ADHD's fault, and she's not doing anything wrong. And it's like, God, girl, get a clue here. This is not the hill you want to die on. And this is when we have Shanae go back to the group. They hug it out weirdly after that conversation where they're like water signing off each other. They're like, it's like Shanae's Cancer Moon, Pisces Mercury, and Pisces Mars versus Elizabeth, Pisces Sun, Cancer or Scorpio Moon, and Scorpio Rising. It's just like all of this water energy, and they're just like, well, I want to validate your feelings, and then it's like, well, I don't believe you because you hurt my feelings, and like I just like feel like, and then she's like, well, her feelings are part of relationships. It's just like water sign nonsense, like manipulation and yikes from both ends. Like it's like very much Elizabeth trying to squash, which Elizabeth is valid. Like obviously, like she should be trying to squash this dumb shit, but Elizabeth eventually takes the bait, especially in the next episode. But anyway, this is when they go back, and this is when Shanae is like, you said you loved me, and that you were like, Elizabeth is like, I did not. I said, let's hug it out so we can squash this or whatever. Oh my God, it was insane.
That's like, what's the point of saying
yeah.
that? And what's the point of dying on that hill?
Right.
And causing these problems, and especially after you fucking pushed her. So now, like, she has this thing to weaponize against you, and you know this.
Exactly.
And, like, it's gonna just cause more drama. And you're gonna lose.
Shanae was not thinking straight.
No, she's thinking about being the winner. Winning.
Yep.
Aries.
Winning! She wanted to win, but she couldn't stop sobbing in the meantime. Which is extremely Cancer. Like, the fact that her Cancer Moon is feeling so triggered by the situation, like, she's feeling like no one wants to be her friend. And, like, Cancer Moons are really fucking sensitive. And it's really hard to be in a situation like that, probably, and feel like no one is maybe being nice to you.
But digging her grave, too. Like, exactly. She's not well liked, but she's also not. She's like not even. She doesn't even have to make an attempt to be everyone's friend, but she's like causing problems. Like she's
playing the game a little too hard.
Yeah, and she doesn't know when to stop.
Yep. And then we get to so after Sarah gets the group date rose, which non-drama, great, love that. We get to the cocktail party, which is when Cassidy is trying to be like, you just need to diffuse any drama. It's not worth it. And Shanae's like, I know. And I'm like, she's not listening to you, Cassidy. You need to detach. And she does detach later. Like, it's so funny whenever Shanae keeps going off about the stupid fucking ADHD shit, which I'm like, God damn, girl, stop. Shanae made herself look so bad. an ableist. Like, we do not support. And also, by the way, quick disclaimer, astrology does not make you ableist. I've said this before all over the place. No, astrology doesn't make you ableist, racist, sexist, any of that. It's more about your reactions to situation. And the fact that she's reacting in such a defensive way and using someone's mental health against her is very much, it's just a defense, so defensive. And that's to say, she's not being ableist when she's Aries or Cancer. It's just that her Aries or Cancer are very much triggered, and she is throwing shit at everything. Like,
Yeah, she just looks back into a corner.
Yeah, it's
that she backed herself into.
Literally that. Like, it was all for nothing. Like, she was just being overly competitive and she's trying to, like, play the offense and, like, get people out, almost, instead of, like, what she's trying to do? She's trying to play like Victoria Fuller, where Victoria would get people eliminated one by one, unintentionally, by tattling on them in that season. Not Victoria Fuller, Victoria Larson. Queen Victoria.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. I was like...
Sorry, too many Victorias in this fucking franchise.
Too many.
But, anyway, so that is basically the end of episode 1. Oh, wait, no. The end of episode 1 is Sierra trying to call out Cassidy for friends with benefits, and that's the cliffhanger. And it wraps up in the next episode where the whole friends with benefits thing comes out, and it's the stupidest shit ever. None of you bitches were celibate. No one was celibate. No one is celibate before the show. Why are we faking this?
She just shouldn't have said anything.
No, she really should not have.
Don't reveal anything on the show. Like,
it's not worth it.
It's not.
It's never worth it, even for the attention. And that's the problem with the Leo raising. Like the thing is, like, she could be so good at getting Clayton's attention, but she still needs it from the other people. Like, and that's the Leo problem. But at the same time, her Leo confidence, her sun in the 10th, her Capricorn moon being very, like, ruthless and just, like, focused on one person. He's like a pro. Like, that's, like, all a pro, and Clayton really liked that. It's just the fact that it backfired on her because of the way she acted with the women.
Yeah.
And then, she gets tattled on, and Clayton is all disgusted and is like, oh no. And it's just, like, acts as if, again, no one was fucking before they came on the show.
But we know Clayton was fucking.
Oh, yeah. Apparently fucking raw. But anyway, so we have Clayton take back the first rose. I don't know, actually, I feel like maybe I wonder if there has been a rose taken back before. I can't remember.
I bet.
I'm sure. Ooh, not a great look. Look, I understand. Leo risings, they want to be the most confident person in the room. And, like, back to the confidence was an asset in the beginning, and it became a problem when she was flaunting it with other women. Like, be happy you have the rose. I'm all for that. But just take the sideline. However, even if she took the side, like, she was definitely clearly trying not to be in any drama that night. But then people called her for the friends with benefits thing. And then when Clayton calls her to talk, she's like, I already know what you're going to say. Which is, again, like, the Leo is really loud here. And the Taurus, too. Like, she's trying to really anticipate what's happening here. And it's like, hold your roll. You literally did not. And then she was proven wrong. He goes, did you have a relationship before you got here? And she goes, I did not know what you were going to say.
And what's funny, if I were Clayton, I'd be like, what did you think I was gonna say?
Yeah, but he was not thinking. He does not think
all he could think was, you had sex before you came here?
Yeah. You were supposed to be celibate for me. Yeah, so anyway, she talks about it for a little bit, and then he goes away. They separate, and this is when Clayton goes to Jesse, and he's like, has anyone ever taken back a rose before? And Jesse is like, there are no rules, do whatever you want. And so he goes back to talk to her in the bathroom, which is such a, like, God. The Bachelor Mansion looks like it's truly stuck in the 2000s, like, with this, like, Tuscan-esque design. And that bathroom is so weird. But they're in this bathroom, it's on the tub, LOL. And she does a really good, in my opinion, a very good Hail Mary at the end here, where she's just like, like, I did have someone that I was hooking up with prior to the show, but it was just a friends with benefits thing. It wasn't, like, a relationship. I'm not, I'm here for you. And ever since I've gotten here, I've been really into you. And anybody will say that, And he just it doesn't land for him. He says the trust is broken. So he can't do it.
The trust is broken.
Which, as many bachelors have said, it's easy to know who your winner is or have ideas who your winners are. That like when someone gives you a reason to eliminate them, you'll take it. Like he wasn't. He I think knew Cassidy maybe wasn't going to be it other than making it out and having fun, and so he was like, "All right, that's fine."
He was having a lot of fun.
I mean, hey, she's hot, so like, why not? They're all hot. I want to make out with them too, Clayton. I get it. But anyway, she dismisses Cassidy, and all the women are like, "OMG, yay!" And then they're all idiots because that means Shanae gets a rose, and they have to deal with her.
Shanae is the real villain.
No, really though, she is the villain. Like she is absolutely, yeah, no, 100%. So anyway, now we get the next. Oh, wait, no, we get the rose ceremony because it's still not a fucking rose ceremony. And so the suit, so we have basically the only women that go home are NC Tess and Kate. So peace out, ladies. Your souls are savored. So then this is when we have the Circle of Pain date, the therapy circle with Caitlin Bristow, which was when this was the cutest moment of my life, honestly. When Caitlin is shown on screen, Olivia out of loud goes, "Becca Kufrin!" And I was like, no.
I was so confident too.
Caitlin Bristow.
But you saw what I meant. Like,
no, I do. They are both brunette, white women, bachelorette type. Yeah. I get it. Yeah, no, 100%. So.
Yeah, the names have some kind of similar sound.
Do they?
No, they fucking
It's okay. I understand mixing them up. There's so many people, but it was just so cute.
But Caitlin Bristow is there.
Yes, Caitlin Bristow is the host of this date, whereas Becca Kufrin is the host of the next date.
Yes, and that's also they're messing with me.
They really are messing with you. That was on purpose. That was on purpose for you.
Yeah,
they did that to you, baby.
The therapy date was
insanity. I mean, so obviously we've seen this format before on Katie's season with fucking Nick Viall. So the fact that we have this again with Caitlin Bristow, I'm just like, all right, cool. So we have this very weird format of like stand up if you agree with anything I say, and then Caitlin is like, stand up if you don't feel proud of yourself, or if there's anything you're not proud of, and everyone stands up, and it's just like, okay. And everyone shares a story, every different person, and it's so I am going to not get in the nitty gritty of their stories, but I am going to just briefly mention what they did, what they said, and mention if it relates to their signs or not, because I mean, and obviously like all women struggle with men being shitheads to them, so that's not related to our sign. If a man's being an asshole to you, it's not because of his sign, it's because he is an asshole. And it's not because of your sign either. Men are assholes to every woman of every sign. But there is like a specific flavor of a lot of their things. Like Mara specifically was like, oh, I grew up with like the, true Cinderella vibe with all these sisters who didn't like me, and I was bullied at school, and then I was bullied at home, and I had to like really be on my own, and I was just like, that's a Capricorn. Like it's just...
Is she a Capricorn?
Yeah. Or Mara, I should say, not Mara. Mara. They keep saying it Mara, but then there's Marlena and Marlena and Melina. Jesus Christ. So there's a lot of happening here. But
Marlena and Melina is one that doesn't talk very much.
Yes, or we're not shown her speaking much. We've only seen her in like the clown outfit and yeah, I know. She's the one who came bouncing in, remember? On the limo. Yes. She came bouncing in and she ran into his arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot. So Genevieve mentions how she self-sabotages in her relationships, which is an extremely Scorpio. She's a Scorpio sign, Gemini moon, which is like, oh my god. Like, of course, the Scorpios, when they're a little too close and a little too exposed, they can feel like they want to leave, especially a Gemini moon too, when you get the feelings involved and they're like, wait a minute, I don't want this. Peace out. And then we have Hunter, which this is the one where I'm like, holy shit, Hunter. It was like 6th house sun situation. Like she really was like, this was when the men was like comparing her to other women. She had colored contacts to become someone else. I was just like,
she had to like watch her weight had to be a specific weight.
No, disgusting. Fuck
and
that
like,
man. Fuck
and this
that
man,
man.
This man probably like didn't even wash his balls.
No, literally that. And then
like,
she says, and then he cheated on me, so of course I didn't feel like I was enough. And I just wanted to be like, of course he cheated on you because men are disgusting. They will make a woman into their supposed perfect specimen of a woman, and they will still stick their dick in something else.
Well, then because then they're bored
someone
because
else. I'm sorry,
she lost her shine. Like, fucking squash the shine out.
True, exactly. God, we're queer.
We don't date men, and honestly,
yikes. So then we have Serene, who's crying for Hunter, which is very Cancer rising of sweet Serene, just like feeling her feelings. And then we have Eliza, which Eliza is so like fascinating to me because she's like always smiling. Like her face is like stuck in like a even when she's not trying like smiling, truly smiling with her whole teeth, she's like her mouth, like I don't know, she's very pageant, and it's just like so wild. Like even in this moment, she's like kind of like trying to keep her face like upward when she's like talking about how she's moved by other women, what they're saying, and how that women have so much pressure put on them. And but then this is when Marlena brings up race and is like, I was never going to talk to you about race, Clayton. And then he says, oh, I want anybody to talk to me about race. I am totally open to all that, and I want to learn new perspectives. And I'm like, good job, Clayton.
Good job, way to go.
Good job, Clayton. White man, bare minimum. He does seem to be all over a lot of these black girls though, and women of color. But Sarah too. Like Sarah seems to be really into Serene. He seems to be really into Serene and Eliza. Laser. Yeah, Laser. Okay. Yeah, oh my god, my notes went back up to Cassidy's part. Okay, yeah, Eliza, Mara, Melena, Clayton. Oh, this is when Clayton talks about how he hated his body. And I feel so sad. Like, Taurus men, like, this is a true problem. Like, Taurus men especially are very square. And, like, we can see Clayton, like, he's like a rectangle. Like, his whole body is, like, so... And, of course, he played football, but it's just, like, Tauruses are the bulls. They are broad and they are wide and they tend to be bigger. Like they are protective and strong and cuddly and cozy. And I feel like
and horny.
Yeah. And sensual. I mean, like Taurus is ruled by Venus, and so if you think about like the birth of Venus painting or any paintings of Venus, hi Miso, any paintings of Venus, she's like plump and cozy and relaxed and eating or drinking or fruit is around her. She's in a pool of water. She's fucking naked. Like literally, that's Taurus so much. And so it's just like Taurus men have to deal with those same like body image things that women do. I think a lot of the time, and that's why a lot of Taurus men tend to work out a lot, especially if they're like short and stocky. They have like the short guy syndrome, and they want to be really fit so that they can like take up their built. They're very built. Back to Taurus, bull. Ready to go. So anyway, I feel Clayton is talking about his body, and there were a lot of these people talked about their bodies, and look, no shame to any of these people with their bodies, but it's just very awkward watching a room full of skinny people with a show that has only had skinny people on it ever talking about body positivity.
You said it.
I'm just saying, like, and back to no shit, like. Everyone has their feelings about all their bodies and all that stuff, and it's all fine. Like, I'm not all these people sharing their stuff, great. But it's just like this show itself does not support that conversation in ways with actual fat people.
Yeah. Like actual body positivity isn't just like talking about it. It's having actual body diversity.
Yeah.
So that people can feel positive in their bodies.
Yeah. And there was this one guy, one of the Night One guys on the Shell season was one of their body diverse, and he's a big boy. He's tall and he's very wide, big and but he's not like he is big. He's fat, but not like, it's not like that much of a stretch for the show. And back to they tried to convince us that Victoria Larson was their size. Queen Victoria was their size representation on fucking Matt season, which is another.
Was she aware that was?
I'm not sure.
What the representation
I'm
she
not
was
sure.
doing? It's like,
yikes. What a time. All right, so we have the night portion of this day. After the circle of hell, we go to the literal bad place. Yes, apparently, according to Game of Roses, where Lizzie Pace case, she worked on Good Place. She mentioned that that vault space that they walked into is where they filmed the fucking Bad Place on the show, The Good Place.
And this show really is the bad place. It is like watching the bad place.
Honestly,
like because everything is set up.
Yep.
Even the children were fake children.
Yeah, literally fake children.
And it was set up to go wrong. That child was planted there to knock the cake out. That is the bad place. And someone even fucking said
to torture them. Oh
someone
my God.
Someone
The Bachelor
said,
is the bad place.
And one girl, even when she was cursing, as her curse was shirtened forks or something.
Oh, Kate!
Shirt balls.
Oh my
something.
God! You're right. And shirt and pants. It was shirt and pants.
I just think we might be getting a glimpse of the bad place.
Wow. That's a hot take. Mm-hmm. We might be in there. No, oh my God. So, anyway, we have Serene talking about how she feels comfortable with him. We have Susie saying she's glad she can connect with him. And they make out a lot. Susie and him make out a lot. They get a lot of make-out scene for some reason, like all in these like specific spots too to make out. They're like, go over here to make out. Now move over here to make out.
Oh, in that black dress?
Yeah.
Is that Susie?
What was it?
No, I don't know. There's a black dress, the boob.
Oh, that was Susie. Yeah.
Yeah.
The boob. We know what you were looking at. You're bad. Okay, so then we have the women continuing to be vulnerable, blah, blah, blah. Okay, Eliza gets the rose. Oh, yeah, this was when Eliza was talking in front of the mirror, which is very Aries rising.
What?
And
then you talking in front of the mirror?
And then she's like, we look like an amazing couple. We're so hot together.
We are hot together. We do look like an amazing... I mean, everyone says it. My friend Eric said we look like we are clothing models.
This is proving my point here.
No, I'm just...
That Aries rising, because it's their Libra 7th house. They want their partners to be aesthetic with them. It's common. Olivia the Aries rising is like, whatever. LOL. Alright. So then we have Sarah's one-on-one date, which honestly is... First of all, it's the naked thing, which is annoying. Like, forced nudity is always stupid, especially after we just had Clayton talking about his body image issues.
And it was all about body image. This is why it's the bad place, because they just talked about how they all have body image issues, and then they're like, okay, go be naked on a date in public. In public.
I know, Miso! Insane. So... Literally. Anyway, but not only that, with the scavenger hunt, they gave them, what I thought was hilarious was they gave them show-sanctioned underwear, because she clearly wasn't wearing that bra top under her spaghetti strap dress when she walked in.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So she's not wearing that. She's wearing that from the show, and he's wearing a black, like they match. So not only that.
And it looks more like workout clothing.
Yeah, really. Like yeah. They run around and they do this stupid outdoor scavenger hunt, which is basically a copy of Ben and Tasha's date, except for the fact they didn't have to do it in the nude or in the partial nude. Becca also hosted the Ben and Tasha scavenger hunt, or someone hosted a scavenger hunt. She hosted one other scavenger hunt on another date, like another season. Like what are we doing with Becca here?
And scavenger hunts.
Why? It's over and over. They're recycling the same 5 dates since the quarantine season.
My job also recycles the same scavenger hunt every year. Jesus. And I hate being forced to do a scavenger hunt as an adult.
It's only fun if it's like something you really want to do. And it's like not that fun.
If it's like friends and alcohol's involved.
Yeah, for sure. The scavenger hunt is like at bars, maybe. Yeah. Right.
Maybe.
So then they end up singing or whatever, and it's stupid. But Sarah seemed to have been ready for what she was performing. She did okay. She did a good job. Clayton was horrible. Like, literally not even at all good. So the night portion is what I was deeply jealous of. This Van Gogh experience date where they sat around in the Van Gogh thing all by themselves. Like, holy shit. Just to be able to be immersed in all that by yourself is so cool. And they got to sit at a cute little table that had like lights all over it with like true aesthetic. Yeah. It was peak witchy aesthetic that I love. I'm all about.
Microdose.
Right?
Sitting
Oh
there.
God, get so stoned and just go sleep. So then this is when she tells Clayton that she was adopted and that she's like, she's mixed race, 30% Vietnamese, and she's like just, pretty classic, like adopted white family. I didn't feel like I fit in. I felt like a second choice as an adoptee. It's helped me grow as a person. And then she talks about how she just feels like Clayton deserves a good guy, good love, and whatever. And then literally, it's like a very textbook one-on-one, textbook night portion. Sarah's delightful, and I think she's going to make it far, probably top 4. And then they get to dance to Claire de Lune by a string quartet in the fucking Van Gogh exhibit, which is literally like, and she's like, this is the most romantic moment of my life. And I'm actually watching and I'm like, I agree. Like, most of the time I'm watching some of these dates and I'm like, I mean, yeah, this is really cool, but is it like actually romantic? Whereas this actually felt to me, I was like, this is romantic.
A lot of the dates are like my idea, like when I was younger, my idea of like what I thought romantic dates were. Yeah. And they're really actually like embarrassing and awkward.
Yeah, they really are. And like it agreed,
like,
that thing
like
would.
the Guitar Center date and Follow Your Heart or Listen to Your Heart.
Oh,
I would have as a kid been like, oh my God, that's so cool. And now I'm like, oh my God,
you're sitting to, like, in a store.
In a Guitar Center store while someone sings to you and everyone's watching you and no.
Wow, Listen to Your Heart. Throwback.
That was a fever dream.
That really was.
That was when there was no reality TV.
That was a dismal time.
That was a dismal
April 2020. Goddamn. Oh my God.
But anyway, yeah.
So yeah, and then between all that, we got the fucking beginning of the shrimp wars, which is hysterical again because we're working with all these water signs, and they're like shrimp wars.
I really do. I think that it is incredibly rude that she showed up and ate all the shrimp.
No, like it was alive for sure. And also because she's like, I'm hungry. I like shrimp. And they have the shrimp counter in the corner, which was iconic. I love when the show does shit like this too, because this is the stuff I want to see. If I have to see and sit through all of their other stuff, might as well give me something funny like this. And it seems like we're going to get more shrimp wars next week too, which is even fucking better.
Which, the shrimp wars have me on the edge of my seat.
Sierra posted a photo from the Baywatch group date of all of them in a line and put a shrimp over Shanae's face.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Okay.
No, like it's really getting layers. It's happening here. Shrimp nay.
Shrimp nay. Shrimp nay nay. Yeah. Take a nini.
So, Elizabeth cooks shrimp, offers it to everybody. Shanae eats too much shrimp, and then is weirded out that she thinks that Elizabeth didn't say something nice to her, so she made more shrimp to prove that she could make shrimp, and then she offered it to people, and Elizabeth didn't take any. She was mad.
It was a weird, no one even said anything. I mean, maybe we missed something, but
no, I don't think we even missed that much. I really
don't.
Then
she hands the shrimp to the girl in the hot tub, and the girl's like, "Thank you," and takes it. And it's like a very normal interaction. And then Shanae, not Shanae, because Shanae would have handled this very level-headed. I fully believe.
Only Shanae is the unhinged one.
Only Shanae is the unhinged one. Shanae walks by, is like, "Can you not lay that?" And it's like, what?
What happened? This is the Pisces Mars, the Pisces Mercury.
Yes,
what are you living in? What are you believing here? This is very confusing. No one is doing this to you.
Yeah, nobody. Ooh, that soup smells good.
Oh yeah, I'm making soup, y'all. That shit does smell really good. Anyway, so this is when now we have group date number 2, which is the Baywatch date. And it's when, honestly, the Baywatch date is bullshit. They all rub sunscreen on each other poorly and on Clayton's nipples only.
Shanae rubs sunscreen on... Again, not Shanae. Shanae rubs sunscreen on Clayton's nipples and only Clayton's nipples. And I guess no one else thought maybe Clayton needed sunscreen on other parts of his body.
This Midwest Missouri boy in the fucking California sun where there is no ozone. There is no ozone layer, no protection. He's just getting flamed up by this sun. But hey, Gabby gets a pedalo on him later, so win-win.
Yeah, but it was a missed opportunity. Everyone's sitting there getting so butthurt over Shanae. you should have jumped in and rubbed his back down, rubbed his
honestly, get
other
all
parts
over
of his
him.
head. Like, get on him. It's
rub
just,
your man.
It's just weak gameplay.
No, maybe I agree. I deeply agree. All right, so, oh my god, my fucking notes keep scrolling all the way back up. So anyway, it's all the women are just doing Baywatch things. Like, it's really not even like real lifeguard stuff. It's just like beach related things in red swimsuits. Yeah. But eventually, Shanae tries to like hoodoo Clayton at the end of her run, slow run to him, and then but Gabby ends up winning the group date, and she gets to go and sit with Clayton, and she gets her ass photoshopped. Did you notice that?
No, I forgot to look.
Yeah, her ass was photoshopped with more swimsuit so that they didn't black box her.
Which means she's going to be
somewhere further, yeah. At least last longer than a true fool would. But anyway, then we have the night portion of this day where all the women are like knowing that if the drama happens, it would be Shanae, and eventually we literally have Clayton bringing up the drama to Elizabeth after Shanae tries to like explain, like, I'm feeling bullied. Like, she literally, like, Shanae does not take Elizabeth's name out of her mouth. Like, she consistently talks about Elizabeth, which is just dumb. Like, but she's really trying to manipulate Clayton, and she seems to be doing okay. But then Elizabeth is equally, like, you know, defensive as she should be.
Yeah, because it's like, it's weird. She's just like honed in on her, and it may be psychosexual. Who knows?
Literally, Shanae, Elizabeth, just kiss. I think Shanae is having weird feelings. There's something going on.
Yeah, I think Shanae has a lot of weird feelings.
No, yeah. But she's saying she's feeling bullied, which is, again, Pisces victim play is common here. And so she's just like pulling the same, like, she thinks that other people aren't talking to her because Elizabeth doesn't like her, and she's like, people are different when Elizabeth is in the room versus not. It's like so much power. She's giving so much power to Elizabeth.
Also, have you seen like Shanae actually act normal?
No, she's been unhinged about this ADHD.
She fucking came into the kitchen, shoved a bunch of shrimp in her mouth and on her plate, and walked out. And like, she was wondering, everyone's looking at her weird, bitch, you just inhaled all that shrimp.
Literally, and now you're cooking more shrimp to look like you didn't, I don't even know what's going on. It's like insane. But so this is when also that she's like, Clayton says to Elizabeth that Shanae says her mental health is struggling. And then Gabby ends up telling Elizabeth, like, wait, but does he know that what Shanae said about your mental health? Like, being insane about her ADHD. Like, god damn.
Saying it over and over
again. Yeah,
again.
very obsessed with it. And she's like, even again in this one, is like that lying ADHD ass. And you're like, what the fuck is your problem,
in
Shanae?
2022, you're saying that her lying ADHD.
Yeah. Well, and then this is, Elizabeth's like, I made her lunch the other day when she's talking to Clayton. And she starts, you know, saying that Shanae has flipped on her. She starts crying. She says that other women would never agree with this, and that she would be shocked and confused, and that he's confused, and then the other women are confused later when Elizabeth goes back to talk, and this is when Sierra tries to engage with Shanae, and says this is in the ITM, Sierra says Shanae's not dumb, she knows what she's doing, and then she tries to engage and says she's trying to be like, why are you doing this? But then Elizabeth pipes in. She says the other thing about, she says something about the people not being nice when Elizabeth is around. Elizabeth engages. I'm looking at my notes. I'm just like, where the fuck am I? She tries to give Shanae to give examples of how she's being bullied, and she cannot. She tries to say, I don't want to talk about this anymore. And Elizabeth is like, yeah, because you can't. And all the women are basically joining up with Elizabeth at this point. And then this is when Shanae starts really, like, unleashing. And she's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you're two-faced. You're a liar. I don't, she's like, just, it's again, delusional. The water sign delusion here. And Shanae says, you're the last person on my mind when I talk to Clayton. And Elizabeth's like, I'm the only thing on your mind. And they just go back and forth.
Which was honestly a really romantic thing to say. Like, it's a love triangle. Like, they're in the rain. They're in the rain. You're the last thing on my mind. I'm the only thing on your mind.
Stop.
Oh my god, that's hot.
Kiss.
And then they kiss.
Yeah, you should write that book.
I will.
Great. But anyway, he gives the rose to Gabby, and then Shanae is all pissed and calls Gabby a 12-year-old cheerleader, which apparently Gabby has since been like, that's a compliment. Thanks, Shanae.
Is it? I mean,
I don't.
It's not like not a compliment, but like I don't want to look like a 12-year-old cheerleader. Like,
yeah.
Not goals.
No. But then we get that episode as the cutoff, so we don't even get like a rose ceremony again, which is annoying. But essentially, it's just like Shanae drama. Like this entire episode just is like very much just water, like the water sign delusion of it all. Like
Cancer moons can be vicious, like
no,
Kris Jenner.
Really. Yes, the crossover of our other obsession right now, which is the Kardashians. Yes, Kris Jenner is a Cancer moon, and she's very intense. Cancer moons, I mean, it's moon in domicile. Like, it's moon in its comfy spot.
Yeah, I get
and moon can get unhinged emotions. Yeah.
Yeah, like, that it's too comfy, and it's like,
yeah.
I'm gonna
and
really
it feels
be
like
myself.
It needs, Cancer moons need a lot of validation. But they're also, they're so emotionally supportive to people. And it's funny because to me, like, I do feel like Shanae has some, like, inner intuition about Elizabeth, which is why she's trying to target her so much. Because Elizabeth also is, she's interesting, right? Like, she's not, like, obviously she's wonderful with all and the things that she's done with the ADHD. Like, she basically was raising money for ADHD Foundation after this episode stuff. Like, all that, great. Like, she gives me an interesting vibe on her own, separate from all of this. So it's like, I wonder if that Cancer moon intuition is locked on Shanae, and like she's finding it, but she's just very unhinged about it. Like, she's not doing a good job. She's being super shitty. And I think, and Elizabeth is in the right in all of this stuff here too.
Yeah.
But man, what a wild 2 episodes, and we're only gonna get more Shanae drama. I think she stays in this next rose ceremony.
Shrimp
wars.
No,
literally shrimp
I'm ready
wars.
for it. I'm here, and then one day.
Yes, and I'm so excited that we have the episode again in 2 days. I was going to have a guest. Not that I don't love my amazing partner, Olivia. Mwah, mwah. I was going to have another astrologer guest on this week, but, it was Mercury. It's Mercury retrograde right now. It's just crazy. And so we had to move things around. So hopefully I'll get to have her on later. And then I have another friend I'm trying to get on to come. So, like, I'm working with it. But also, Jess, I love you. And I miss you.
Yeah,
and
Jess.
If you ever, we all, Jess has an open call to come. But Jess, I think, is coming over on Monday.
Oh, yeah, Jess, come over on Monday, please.
Yes.
You need to join Blend Day. It's like you're the unofficial member of Blend Day.
Yeah, you need to get here, Jess. So, all right. Well, anyway, do you have anyone, who's your favorite? Like, if you had to pick a favorite of, not like, obviously, like Shanae and Almond Bilges, but like this season, like, who are you into the most?
I am Uzi for Susie.
I forgot about you saying that earlier. Yeah, I get it. So is Clayton.
Yeah, I get it.
He's Uzi.
I get it.
Yeah.
He is Uzi.
No, he said there's something about Susie. And I get it.
Susie.
Yeah,
I mean, I remember some of the words he used was like agreeable, humble, breedable.
He did not say that, but
no, but
he
might
was
close.
He might as well have, for fucking sure. Oh my god. Well, love that. Yeah, I'm into Susie. I think Susie is Bachelor material.
Oh, Teddy's cute too.
Oh yeah, you like Teddy. Teddy's cute.
Teddy's cute.
Yeah, she's the only Libra. Teddy, who was very chill on this episode. Didn't see a lot of Teddy. I feel like Teddy, I think it's Teddy, Susie, Rachel, and Sarah are the top 4.
Yeah, I don't remember who Rachel or Sarah.
Rachel is the one who was looking at remember, she was the one who was looking at the helicopter overhead and was upset.
And she said,
that should be me.
That should be me.
Because she's a 3rd house stellium, and 3rd house rules travel and, like, transportation, or transportation, right? But she also has Jupiter on the ascendant in Capricorn, very much like the Jupiter travel. Like, she's so all about planes. But anyway, so that's Rachel.
That's why it's the bad place. They had to flaunt the plane in her face.
Yeah. It's all torture. It is absolute torture. I now understand.
Psychological torture.
Wow.
Anyway.
No, it is literally psychological torture.
Like, literally.
It's horrifying.
It is horrifying. But it's also
a game.
It is Squid Games.
It is.
The romance.
Games. But without death.
Romance. Yeah. Ego death.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Right. Wow. On that note, I guess we're going to be done. All right.
All right.
Everybody follow me on Do the Roses Align, and Olivia has a private Instagram because they're a teacher, but if you want to
follow, it's Olive Gardens.
But it's OH underscore. Or no, it's OL.
OHLIV underscore Gardens.
Is there another underscore? After, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, follow Olivia. Olivia's great on Instagram. It's very funny. I think you're very funny. I think you're very funny on podcast. Thanks for coming and thanks for doing this with me while I made you soup. I'm making broth and now I get to go finish the soup.
We are soup lovers.
Yes, we are. Olivia is a big soup lover. Star-crossed soup lovers. All right, well, I'm going to do that now, okay? Love you guys. Follow Do the Roses Line, me, Astrology Chef, Olivia, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.